Hey everyone, well, FedEx had a big day the other day to the upside and is completely disconnecting in a good way from the rest of the transportation stocks, or at least some of the big ones. And I thought I would take a look at this not only through the lens of how far could it go and is the breakout for real, but also, how do we kind of put this together in a situation where it's really one of the few stocks that's going higher in this entire industry. So FedEx is a transportation stock. Typically, the transportation stocks have a decent correlation to one another, whether it's rails or in this case, it's a mail carrier, I guess. But as you'll see in a second on the relative chart, or the chart comparing it to other parts of transports, this is kind of a unicorn right now. And it always to me begs the question: is it a fake out move here, or is FedEx actually sustainably going to go higher? If we look at the chart, it is what it is. The stock essentially gapped higher now after gapping higher in March after earnings. Then it sold off. It gapped down the earnings before then. Now it's gapping higher again. So it's been very gappy from a price action perspective. I think at this point, my best guess is the stock doesn't necessarily fly, into like the 300s in any meaningful way, but that it kind of keeps its recent gains. So this post earnings gain. But before we get back to this, let's have a look at the sort of the dispersion chart. So what we're looking at here is three lines. The orange line all the way at the bottom is UPS. And if you look at this through the lens of the past few years, the stock's down about 15% since November 21. FedEx is up about 21% in that period, I believe, and the transports themselves are basically flat. The IYT ETF that represents that industry group. So clearly, FedEx is doing something good here, something better than some of the other ones, and certainly completely diverging from UPS. If I look at FedEx now in terms of a specific trade I may want to consider putting on, I see this more of an opportunity to put on some sort of a trade that takes advantage of the stock, not necessarily blowing higher, not like doing this immediately, but more that it's kind of going to consolidate here. And so the best way to show this to you is I'm just going to draw a little bit of a rectangle. I could imagine the stock kind of finding some consolidation space here. And so any strategy I can put on, it could be an iron condor, or it could be a bull put options credit spread, where I would put on a trade where I bet the stock doesn't go, let's say, all the way down here again. Any of those kind of strategies to me make sense in a situation like this, where again, it's one stock doing something, and I think people were clearly caught off sides on this, investors. So I just don't know if the stock really has it to continue blowing, towards 320 here in any sort of immediate term fashion. So that's my view at FedEx here. Hope it helps, and we'll see you again in the next video.